Hey everybody, and welcome to No Breakaways, your source for all the Zwift racing tips and tricks. Today we have four amazing athletes with us. Jackie Godby, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Jordan Cheyne from Team Canada.
Hi.
And Jackie was from Team USA. Laura Matsen Co. from Team USA. And Ryan Larson from Team USA.
Hey Rick, how's it going?
Doing great, doing great. I really appreciate all your guys' time for coming on the show and hanging out with us. So yeah, I mean, I guess kind of first off, we'll go around the horn a little bit. Jackie, how has your training been going? And I feel like you probably did something pretty cool this weekend. I'd like to hear about too.
Yeah, so training's been going great. I am currently in medical school, and I've had the last month off to focus on interviews, which gives me pretty great control of my schedule. Able to train. Focus a lot on cycling, put in a lot of kind of focused efforts on sort of the VO2 and threshold type efforts in preparation for Worlds. And you're absolutely right. One of my philosophies for racing is that the best preparation for race prep is more racing. So I participated in the Echelon Pro Race Series this weekend. It was a virtual tour of the Gila, so 3 days of additional racing. And I had an amazing weekend. The training all started to come together. And I managed to win all three stages in some really, really fun races against other women.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, super cool. Jordan, maybe how's your training been going? It's been a while since we talked.
It's been great actually. It's been so refreshing because I sort of made the decision to make this its own season starting in I guess late September when the Zwift Racing League started with Team Finesse Wahoo. Sort of starting near the bottom of Zwift racing. I've done some before, but racing guys, sharpening the skills, and then I got selected to this Worlds a couple weeks into that campaign, so I've been able to focus the training onto this premier level event. So it's been nice. We've been working a lot as a team. I've learned a ton, and as Jackie said, the racing has been quite good training in itself.
Yeah, that's awesome. Laura, we just talked a couple days ago. I know your training has been going well. Did you do any racing over the weekend?
Yeah, there's a really fun thing called the Nations Challenge, and you got a opportunity to join whatever nation you wanted. So I chose France on Sunday purely for fun. I kind of had a little bit of a bummer weekend and for some outside of cycling reasons. And so a few of my friends, like pretty much 30 minutes before, were like in our jammies, like, oh, let's just go race. And that was exactly what I needed. So I had a pretty low key nations race, and we placed really well. It was 3 women, and we placed like, I think, 4th, 5th, and 7th in it against a bunch of guys. And it was just fun to kind of go out and play, and it was on the course. So that was really great.
I saw your tag had changed to France in Zwift's Power, and I was like, did something happen that I didn't know about?
Yeah, no, that was a really fun opportunity.
Yeah. So Ryan, I think you probably prescribed to Jackie's theory of racing as training too from our discussion. Why don't you tell us how things have been going?
Been going good. Probably the last month, I've been probably racing 3-4 times a week. Probably last week, I toned it down to, I think, twice last week. So, and then from Thursday on, I haven't really, just been kind of, just doing easy zone 2, a few efforts to keep the legs alive, but so should be ready for Wednesday.
Yeah. So that's kind of like my next question. I was wondering how are you all tapering for this? Maybe Ryan, what sounds like you just did a small taper, but is there anything else you're doing?
So I don't really have I don't do normal training as I talked before. I just kind of race. So I don't have a typical, taper plan that a coach would, kind of lay out. So I've been tapering more for just like last, 2 weeks. I had a really huge training block I participated in Zwift Academy. So did a total of 12 events for that with, so that really got me in shape, I think, for this. And after that, I just kind of hay's in the barn at this point. Doesn't really matter what you do from now to Wednesday. So just kind of have to relax and recover.
Yeah. How about anybody else? How have you changed your training coming into Worlds?
I'm pretty used to the taper process from racing on the road. Like we go through this cycle of train, recover, race, repeat 20 times a year. So I kind of dialed in. The last few weeks, it's been really focused around some specific efforts, like really trying to blow those ZRL races away in terms of personal effort, and obviously trying to win as well. But those have been key. And then, toning down the volume a little bit. The last few days, it's been just very select efforts. I took today off, and then tomorrow will just be a spin. And I think freshness is very important for a 1 hour race for me in particular, as opposed to like a 5 hour road race. You got to just be, fully charged, ready to go.
Yeah. Jackie, what about you? And maybe contrast it, because I know you are like a very high level triathlete. I know you weren't a pro because you were going to school, but...
Oh, I actually did have my pro card with USA Triathlon. I did compete. I never did a full Ironman triathlon, but I did compete at the 70.3 level, as well as a couple of Olympic distance races. So I actually borrowed a little bit of that philosophy. Even this year without triathlons, I still do a lot of multi-sport training. I find my happy place in the pool. I've always been a swimmer. I'm always going to find that there. So this past month, particularly as I've committed to this higher level of cycling, I've helped decrease my volume actually by cutting out swimming, by cutting out a little bit more of that upper body specific work that I would do. And that's enabled me to help keep a lot more of the intensity while cutting down the non-sport specific volume. It's a little sad saying goodbye to my biceps. I look in the mirror and the swimmer shoulders aren't there anymore, but you gotta make some sacrifices for the watts per kilo. And
me too.
I think
my swimmer shoulders are gone as well.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. So and that's been very, very helpful in helping me cut down the volume, but still enable me to put in that big racing block like we talked about this weekend.
Yeah, and I know myself, Laura, and Ryan are all jealous that you can still run without getting hurt every single time. All three of us discussed that.
Full disclosure, I got a huge ankle injury in the spring when I tried running outside, and that was actually kind of the beginning of Zwift. I was like, well, I can't go outside, so time to try this new platform.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Laura, I know you've just been Patrick's been telling you what to do. Is there anything specific? Have you lowered your volume at all?
A little bit. I'm not trying to sandbag here, but I have two small kids and I've had two pretty bad colds in the last 6 weeks. And so I feel like my volume has kind of naturally taken a bit of a dip, and then I recovered and had some efforts and then a little bit more of a recovery. So that's been a kind of an external taper.
Yeah. I guess you're forced to do it. So yeah, we're starting to get some questions. So that's good. So somebody has a question for Ryan. And I think I would ask this to all of you. So Ryan, do you have a game plan for the race and backup strategies in case the first plan sways a different way? And someone else asked kind of what your different cycling specialties would be. So we'll probably, let's all talk about this. So Ryan, if you probably shouldn't tell us, but especially Jordan, get your earmuffs on. What's your plan for the race? And then what do you do if that plan gets blown out of the water?
So, to not be specific, we do have a game plan of where we, with my strength, where I should be going. We all know that how this course is. So we all probably have a similar area where we think things are going to go. Backup plan for when that does not occur, because we all know you have a plan going in and usually that goes out the window somewhere in the race. So we're just going to do what we usually do what I do in any other Zwift race or Pro-Am. It's going to have to read the race where we're, if it's, going up that last climb, or if it's something that goes early. something we're going to have to read of, how other guys, if the other guys on our team, are tired from chasing all day or not. It's going to be something we're just going to have to communicate as we go along. So
you all have that kind of defined roles in the race.
yeah, in general, we have defined roles of what we kind of with our strengths. Of course, we have on Team USA, we at least have some guys who are really good sprinters, guys who are kind of in the middle all around, who are punchy, and then we have some more long distance guys. So we pretty much anything that's thrown at us, we're probably going to be able to cover.
Awesome. And so, Jackie and Laura, do you guys as Team USA have a strategy? I mean, I was looking through your roster today, and I think there's 8 of you with a chance to win is what it looked like. So do you guys does your team have a strategy on what you're going to do?
We do, yeah. So Wally and a few of other kind of USA cyclists came together and emailed us out a plan, which is awesome, and it does highlight all of us. Again, it's top secret, but I think that we do kind of have plans, but I think what we're all also realizing is that communication during the day and just reacting to what happens during the race is going to be important as always. But it's fun. I mean, this is the first time that we've had such a big squad and such a big team to be able to go in and really work together is a really exciting idea. And like you say, there's sprinters and climbers and punchers, and there's the whole kind of gamut on our team. I think it's the same on the males team. And it's fun to kind of think about, and I'm excited to watch this, in retrospect, it'll just be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Super cool. And so Jordan, I know you guys on Team Canada have been coordinating for a while now. Is it the same thing for you all?
Yeah, I mean, I think I can be more specific because I don't think there's any real mystery to how our race is going to be. I think Team US and Team Canada actually both have numbers in this race. The US has 8, we have 5, whatever that is specific for the US. So yeah, we can afford to cover everything. We have a couple guys that are locked and loaded sprinters. I don't think they have to think about this finish too much. They're just experts. Pierre-Andre Cote and Matteo Delsin both were on the podium at the virtual Tour de France on sprint stages and obviously in the real world as well. So those guys can be backed for the finish 100%. And then, this race can be aggressive in a number of different ways on the way there. And if we can press a numbers advantage by getting up the road and make other teams chase and just always be on the front foot, I think there's not a lot of mystery to that. We just have the horsepower with, Lionel Sanders and myself and Charles Etienne-Chrétien are probably more of the all-arounders on the team that can handle that. But we're all racers. I think we're all ready to handle all the situations. And we got a good DS as well. So, I think it would be impossible to prognosticate exactly what's going to happen, but we probably can have it covered with our experience.
Yeah, because you're a bit more of a TT person in real life, right? Is that right, Jordan?
Yeah, I excel sort of from the 5 to 20 minute sort of power and power to weight. So yeah, GC and TT in real life. But also hard road races. If this turns into a real slugfest, move after move, I think that'd be somewhere where I can excel. And yeah, I think it's just going to be different. It's a different mix, right? Like we've had the virtual Tour de France, which is just World Tour riders, and we've had obviously all these high-level Premier League Zwift races where it's just sort of Zwift pros. And to have both together, I think the tactics will be unpredictable in that way, at least.
All right, so here's a good question for you all that you probably won't want to answer. Do you think a real world, like in real life, pro is going to win, or a Zwift pro?
Well, I'll say real world because we only have real world. So yeah, I think we'll go with that.
All right. That's a very PC answer, Jordan. Ryan, Jackie, Laura, what do you all think?
I think it's probably going to be a community, someone from the community.
Yeah,
honestly. Yeah, I think
I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be a racer with experience in both. I think we've got Lauren Stevens on our team. She's got the Zwift chops. She's got the real life medals to prove it too. You know, we've got so many amazing women towing up to the line. I don't think you have to pick Zwift or real life. I think you have a lot of great candidates who do both.
Yeah,
I like that.
a good answer.
But like that's what's so exciting is that like I feel like and maybe I'm wrong here, but the virtual Tour de France seemed like a lot of mostly outdoor teams and maybe a little bit less of indoor kind of people who had ridden a lot of Zwift. And I think that's what's going to be really neat here is that this is going to be, you know, a lot of just amazing pros from both sides. Like I'm genuinely excited to see how this men's and women's race turns out. It'll just be really, really interesting.
Yeah, super exciting. So the race is on Wednesday so we're all in different time zones. Ryan, you're on the East Coast of the United States. So the women's race kicks off at 9 a.m. Eastern. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So
8:45.
Like 8:47.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, this is a morning race. And for Laura, it's super early. Jackie, it's like just morning. Two things I wondered. What time are you going to wake up? How early before the race? And Ryan from YouTube asked, how do you warm up differently for a race like this versus an average race? What do you think, Jordan?
I'm getting up
there we go. Go for it, Laura.
I'm getting up at 4 a.m. So our pins open at 4:40, and I just feel like I need to like be sure that my computer's not totally crashed. So I'm getting up at 4 a.m. And try to eat, which will be almost 2 hours beforehand. And then for warm-ups, I think that this is going to be a hot race for those first 8 kilometers, and it'll continue to. But I think that coming to the line mentally and physically on is going to be important.
So are you going to warm up in the pens?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because you enter, I believe, an hour beforehand. So I have about a 30-minute warm-up that is comforting because it's what I always do, and we'll just execute that leading right into the start.
Ryan, what do you think?
I'll probably get up. So my race is at 9:45 Eastern. So I'll probably get up around 6:30. Just take my time. I took off work completely that day, so I'm gonna do my normal thing. Probably getting the pins. I know pins open up an hour before. I'll probably be on the bike, getting everything ready. Start 2 hours before. Do a little bit of so on a normal day, I do not warm up on like morning rides because we race so early in the morning for like community rides that I'm not a morning person. So I hop on the bike 5 minutes before the race starts and I go. For the races that we've been doing for the Pro-Am, it's later in the day. So I'll probably do the same as I usually get on hour and a half, 2 hours before start getting ready. So that's my plan for Worlds as well.
Jackie?
Yeah, really similar to Laura. I'm going to get up with maybe 2.5 hours to spare. This is a little early, but the Off the Map series on Zwift earlier this year, that was some 3 and 4 a.m. for us in the US. So, going to be sticking with that plan, just giving myself enough time to wake up, have my morning coffee, warm up in the pen just like Laura. I have this 20-25 minute warm up that I've been practicing in the pen this past week, making sure that I can do it asleep off the back of my hand, just getting ready to go, following my normal race routine as if it was taking place at 4 a.m. or noon or whenever it happens, and just trying to make it seem as bread and butter, as possible. Like this is any other race, and try to quell those pre-race butterflies, knowing that I'm about to toe the line with some of the greatest women cyclists in the world.
Jordan, what about you? I know you're out on the West Coast.
Yeah, I'm with Laura on the West Coast. I'm not gonna fight the clock on this too much. I'm just gonna sleep as late as I can. This will be the earliest I ever raced my bike in my life. Pro races start at like 10 is a pretty early start. So so I've done an Oh My Crit series on Saturday a couple times at 7:15, so I know what it'll feel like. But we have to be in the pens by 5:45. I think I'm just gonna have everything laid out, computer ready, wake up at 5:30, put the oatmeal on and the coffee on, get the, put in the pen, and then I'll be on the bike 20 or 25 minutes before the start. I don't think I need too much of a warm up for this. I've never needed that much for whatever reason, just enough to bring the heart rate up and make sure everything's working too, connections and all that. And I'll probably, I'll rest for the 5 or 10 minutes right before and just chill out and hit it hard from the start. It's a short race, but there's time to find your feet in there, I think, as well. It's not going to be, 9 watts a kilo for the first 10 minutes or something. Like, it's going to be hard, and I think it'll settle for a little bit, and it's fine. So yeah, just try to get as much sleep as I can and not reinvent the wheel too much.
All right, so I was going to save it for the speed run at the end. I know Jordan's eating oatmeal. Jackie, what are you eating for your breakfast?
Also oatmeal. Perfect.
All right, Laura?
Half a blueberry bagel.
Oh, Ryan?
Same, just a bagel.
Oh, man. 2 oatmeal, 2 bagel. All right, we should have got another person in here to split this tie.
Well, what are you going to eat, Rick? You're going to be up and watching. What are you going to eat?
I will have gotten up and made breakfast for my children and tried to get them off to school in time to get back and watch the race. That's what I will have been doing. Yeah, I can't break the tie. I can't break the tie. Let's see here. Got a couple more questions. So what areas do you think that you need to be able to take advantage of in this race to either break it apart or make some splits? Jordan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point because, this channel is called No Breakaways, and that's Zwift racing in a lot of scenarios. And I think with this quality of field, it's probably going to be like prohibitively fast on these climbs to make a big decisive push. I think everybody anticipates that everybody wants to be at the front, and it just sort of, it could be wrong about that. I will be prepared for it, but I think it'll be the in-betweens where people are cautious to make moves because they're thinking of things. That's where I would anticipate things actually getting a little distance if they do it all. You'll always have to be on your toes, I think. And that's an interesting part of it is energy conservation versus being, near the front of the race, being ready to go, all that stuff. So the course, it looks simple on paper, but there's all sorts of undulations and just the mental aspect of having that finishing climb and people being like, I got to save everything for that. I think it opens the whole thing up to attack, really.
Do you agree with that, Ryan?
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest things is going to be that first climb. I know people who are familiar with Zwift will be a little more ready for it. I think people who aren't as familiar, maybe the pros that are coming in, that may be a big hit for a lot of people. So we may see a kind of a split right there, maybe not a breakaway, but you may see a split that we're not used to seeing. But in general, I would agree with Jordan where it's going to be, I don't think a lot is going to get away on those climbs. You're going to have to watch yourself to make sure you can get over them. But I don't think anyone will be able to make a move big enough solo or even with a couple people for the pack not to follow. It's going to be in between that's really going to be the deciding factor because people aren't going to really want to go. They're going to want to kind of sit in and, hopefully the speed of the pack brings them back. But with this big a power with guys coming in from actual pro tour, who knows?
Yeah. So Ryan and Jordan, do you think the men's race is going to end in kind of a reduced bunch sprint finish at the top of that KOM?
If I had to bet, if it was my money, that's obviously what I'd bet on, probably 90% chance. It's just how reduced, I think, if there's a breakaway in a chase, I think the chase is going to catch the breakaway probably. This just happens in Zwift, but if it's a split and there's a bunch of people in little groups, it could be 20 guys going up that climb at the end, and that's the main field.
Okay. So I deliberately wanted to save Jackie and Laura for last on this question, because this might just be my bias, but I think women's racing is more fun to watch on Zwift. Like watching the Tour, women are just attacking and there's all these breaks and people chasing and stuff like that. And men's, typically just sit together in a huge group. This one might be different. So, Jackie and Laura, what do you think is going to happen? What are the key things in this race? And do you think a break can get away in this race?
I think it's going to depend on the size of the break. You know, I really think we are going to see some fractures in the pack. You know, we've got multiple big hills to fracture the pack. We also have a bunch of smaller little rollers. You know, even if we're not talking about the big KOM, we are hitting some 7% gradients just in kind of that rolling area before it. And I think we will see the pack break. I don't think we're going to see, you know, a definitive group. I don't think we're going to see a single person or even a single two people get away. But we're going to see groups of 10, 20 start to break apart just because of Zwift mechanics and how it favors drafting and how it really favors churning the pack.
Mm-hmm. Laura, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. And then I know that there's definitely some aggressive women here, and they may continue to drive the pace, like through the rollers or on the climb coming out of bridges. So I think that Jackie's done more women racing than I have, so I kind of defer to her, but I can definitely see that happening where people continue to push it, like you say.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Do you both see the start being like a typical Zwift start where it's just like all out off the line?
Yeah, no question. That is absolutely going to happen.
All right, and so you had to take a guess, and you're on a live interview, so you kind of have to now. How many women get dropped right out of the gates?
Honestly, this is a world champ, so I'm betting most people have done their homework. They know this is Zwift standard. We're going to see, you know, only the unlucky person that had an internet connection failure.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm going to guess we're going to see a great mass start. I'm guessing we're going to see some really great racing.
Yeah. I always forget about like the internet side of things, how it adds like a different sort of mechanical. Jordan, Ryan, how many guys get dropped right out of the pens?
You can go ahead, Ryan.
I would say, so we have about, I want to say 90 guys in. I'd say about 5, probably half a dozen will get dropped right out the pen.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take the under on that. I'll take the under, but close. Yeah, I think some people will. Not a matter of like, boom, they're gone, but I think some people might try to soft start it a little bit and then be in the back 10. And then by the time you hit the KOM, it's already over.
Yeah.
You know, that happens.
I think the quality of the field is so high for this that like just a moment of like you drop your bottle or something and you look down, like you can be off the back. I mean, everybody in it is just unbelievable. So. All right. So we have a question for Laura. Oh, no, we already answered that one. Sorry. So a question that I had, and I've heard this a couple times from people, and I think Laura answered it in a text to me earlier, but do you guys have a certain bike, in-game bike, that you have to pick based on either Team USA or UCI or, you know, your Zwift team? And if so, what is that bike? And then do we know if the bikes are neutralized? Laura said she thought they were. It would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So
they are.
They are? Okay. And so what, Jordan, do you have is like Team Canada like ride this bike, or can you pick whatever you want besides
No, I think I don't think we have a bike sponsor for this year. Actually, we do. Argon is our sponsor, I should say, but we haven't been instructed to take that bike. Maybe that's a good reminder. Maybe I'll earn some brownie points and take an Argon if it's in there. I don't even know.
You should do the Buffalo bike. Be cool to win worlds with the Buffalo bike. They're neutralized. Yeah.
I want to be known as the goofy guy on the Buffalo guy. Yeah. It's neutralized. If there's no Argon to pick, then maybe I'll just pick the coolest looking thing and not worry about the arrow for once.
Yeah. Jackie, Ryan, Laura, do you guys have like a Team USA bike, or is it pick what you want?
Nah, I think it's just pick what you want. I'll probably go Specialized or something like that. I usually go Specialized.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think I'm picking the Specialized with the custom red frame because that matches the kit best.
Oh, Laura, what about you? You got it all planned out?
Yeah, I worked hard to get to level 33 so I could earn S-Works binge or something because I thought it wasn't neutralized. So I'll keep that on because I feel speedy and awesome in it. I just started Zwift last April, so I'm like clawing my way up to each, like it's forever to get the Tron, and I'm just trying to get all these. But the key thing is that we have to have socks on in game, and for some reason my avatar keeps stripping their socks down to triathlete level, and so I think it's an automatic DQ if you don't have your socks on. So make sure you all got your socks.
The weird worlds. Jackie, with her triathlon background, she's really struggling with the socks, virtual sock length, right?
Oh yeah. No, this past week has been a struggle because I've actually had to like practice cycling with socks on as part of like the Team USA in real life kit, and I'm just like, who does this? Who cycles with socks?
So you have to indoors. You do too, Jordan.
Indoor, yeah.
It's hotter. You're messing with your cooling, man.
My feet cooling. No, I don't know. My feet get cold, man. I don't know. I've never ridden my bike without socks since I was a little kid.
Well, no, you could just do it with like short socks, though, couldn't you?
Right. Well, okay. I'll wear non-bib shorts too. Why don't we get crazy? I'll wear a Speedo if we're going triathlete then.
Yeah, they're maximum cooling. So do you all have to wear like certain like in real life kit on your trainer? Because you guys are all or everyone is like videoed the whole time, right? So, like,
so it was really awesome. Today we had a Zoom check-in, and so they checked us and they checked where our camera's going to be and made sure that that was appropriate, and then they gave us our bib numbers at that time. But then the less awesome part is that it is a full live stream, and so you have to have your kit zipped all the way up and like your bibs on, like your,
you can't like.
So they say you can't unzip your jersey apparently, which just sounds hot.
Yeah, they did. They said if there is anything wrong, they'll just cut you from the video feed. So
Ryan's going shirtless, is what he said.
Ryan's wearing USA bikini.
I was gonna say if I'm done, I need to unzip. I guess I'll be cut from the feed.
I think
just poke out through the jersey itself, like going up that hill, like just muscles bulge, shirt busts out, like. It's like, I'm sorry, I was too epic for the kit.
Yeah, what could you do? What could you do? There's nothing you could do to avoid.
For anybody watching that thinks that's ridiculous as a rule, I think it's because Garmin Tax sponsors the event, and so they don't want a Wahoo heart rate monitor showing. So I think you could unzip to here, but they don't want a big Wahoo logo on the stream. Is what.
So they didn't send you. They didn't send you everything like heart rate. Well, yeah, I mean it's Garmin, so like heart rate, everything.
They didn't. Yeah. Yeah.
And so
I may be in luck because I have a polar heart rate monitor that goes on my arm, so I don't have anything on my chest. There you go.
Yeah. So the Zwift race place tells me that they cycle with full height socks even inside. So. Me and Jackie are in the minority on it. Yeah, let's see, what else do we have? So someone asked, Laura, you mentioned that you used to race cyclocross. Do you think that a certain discipline like cyclocross, does it benefit you more in Zwift because of the similar type efforts?
Potentially. I mean, that's what I love about both of them is they're both pretty mentally on the whole time. Just that there's less time sitting in a pack, completely easy pedaling. So I do think that cyclocross and kind of its full out effort has a similarity to Zwift. Plus, they're both just like fun and silly.
What do you think, Jackie? Kind of coming. I mean, have you done cyclocross type stuff, or are you?
No, I really come from triathlon and swimming before that. So my idea of a long race was something that lasted 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a very, very different type of effort, and I'm here for changing it up for, like Laura said, just the gamification and being there the whole time and having fun.
Yeah. Super cool. Let's see here. All right, so we're going to go a little bit. I know the longest we have is 45 minutes, so we are about 10 minutes left. I want to go into a little bit of a speed round. here at the end, and then we'll get into some sponsors and who you want to thank. So, got a couple speed run questions. First, so we'll go, Jackie, what is the women's winner's KOM time for the final KOM?
I'm going to say a minute 28.
Laura?
They're going to have a good, yeah.
Go ahead.
They're going to have a good
Yeah,
draft
I think,
to pull them up.
yeah, maybe. I think I saw someone do a 131 this weekend who was female, so maybe a 127.
Okay. Jordan?
119.8.
Ooh, I like it. Ryan?
I'm going to say 122. I don't think it's going to be all out. I think it's going to be, you're going to have to hold back a little bit.
Oh, I like it. So we did that. What power up do you want at the end, Ryan?
Arrow.
Jordan?
Arrow.
Laura?
I was going to say feather because I'm one of the heavier ones, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, no, it's what you want at the end. It's not what whoever, not what somebody else wants. Feather. Jackie?
Arrow, because I'm one of the tall ones.
Oh, okay. What is the first race, Jordan, that you do after Worlds?
Hopefully, the Premier League, Finesse Wahoo gets promoted in January, because our racing season on the road will probably start a little later in April. So
I like it. Do you want to talk any smack to Ryan while you're here with Saras?
some things are left unsaid, and that's the most effective. So.
Oh, I like it. I like it. I was trying to get some trash talk going on. Ryan, what's the first race you do?
First race after Worlds, probably the next day, with the guys at Kiss Race.
I like it. Jackie?
Race to the fridge and the chocolate and cookies I am saving as a reward.
That one. That's my favorite one so far. Laura, what do you think?
There's a kind of a low-key team Worlds the following Saturday, which I'm going to do with a bunch of women on my team. Just, again, like, let's go have fun. But I'm really looking forward to getting back to the 100Ks on Sunday mornings.
Yeah, awesome. All right, and so this was a question submitted by Laura. So what is like a lucky charm you need in your room, or what is the one thing you have to have in your room for a big race like this? Jackie?
So my coach sent me this today, along with an American flag cape, which my fiance will be wearing.
Oh,
He is my lucky charm, and he is going to be dressed the part.
I like it. Ryan, how about you?
Ooh. Well, I have a certain set of shoes I only wear for a Pro-Am or World, or not World, but Pro-Am stuff. So it's going to be definitely just having those shoes and stuff while I'm ready. Nothing really in my room, but something I'm definitely going to be superstitious about.
Okay, what kind of shoes are they?
They're a pair of S-Works. I forget what they're on. This S-Works 6 shoes, the newest ones. I don't know.
Okay, Jordan, how about you?
I think I'm just going to need a bottle of Monster Hydro because it's early and it's going to be hard. And that's a sponsor and they pay me money. So
There you go. I like it. I like it. You're getting the sponsor thing in before we do the sponsor thing. I like it. Laura, how about you?
My dad has a yellow baseball cap. He lives a mile and a half away, but we're not seeing each other as much because of COVID. But he's worn it to running races since college, and he lent it to me, so it's in my room.
Ooh, I like it. That's a good one. Okay, so first of all, thank you for everybody for being here. But let's wrap it up with some sponsors and people you want to thank. Ryan, why don't you go ahead and go first?
First off, I want to thank my team from Sarah's Pros Closet, and also want to thank Sarah's Pros Closet and Polar themselves. Without their support, we wouldn't be able to do the races that we do regularly in the community league, which kind of puts us in the direction of actually getting to Worlds. Also like to thank USA Cycling for actually going out and searching for people in the community, not just pros, to actually do this event, because it's really cool. They could have easily just picked any pro off the street and put them in the race, but it's really awesome. They picked people specific for Zwift, and yeah, thank you.
Jackie, how about you?
Yeah, so I wanted to thank my team, Vision E-Racing. They're the people that got me hooked in with Zwift racing in the first place. So that's why I'm here. My coach, Quentin, has been really great. My in real life coach, my triathlon coach, Chris Navin, has also been just absolutely instrumental. He was the person that pushed me to do the qualifiers. You know, he's been a fantastic source of support from way back in the triathlon days to now. Like I said, he got me this hat. He's helping pump me up and everything. And then final thanks to my sponsors, Noon Hydration. I will be chugging a lot of that instead of Gatorade during the race. It just tastes better, swear to God. And then also to my local bike shop, Peregrine Cycles, who have the best hookups, and I will also be racing on an Argon bike, thanks to them.
Awesome. Laura, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, mine is so much about my family. I can hear my 3 and 4-year-olds upstairs screaming with my husband right now. So thank you to my husband for dealing with them right now in so many mornings, and family, etc. And then my amazing team. I'm on Evoke Bike, and they've just been so supportive in getting me here. And I agree with Ryan about USA Cycling. It's just such an honor that we get to be here.
Jordan, how about you?
I'll do the smart thing. I'll thank my wife first, Emily, for putting up with me riding in the kitchen for the last 2 months. My wife was better there, so that's where. Yeah, so that's been awesome support. You need that, and then I have 2 teams. Obviously, my road team, Elevate, Webaplex, who takes care of us all year. This year's been a challenge, but they've done a great job and kept us going. And then my e-racing team, Finesse Wahoo, sort of brought me up to speed on this whole game, and I think has made it possible to compete at a high level here. Cycling Canada has done a great job facilitating this for us, sort of on the fly as this develops, and all of our sponsors. Wahoo is a common sponsor for Cycling Canada and Finesse Wahoo, obviously. So they've been huge, and thanks to everybody helping put it on and popularizing, like yourself, Rick, as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you to all 4 of you. I really appreciate the time. I wish all of you the absolute best of luck here coming up Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to rooting everybody on.